I'm going to talk you through a Part C question from the Hinduism paper. This is from Hindu Beliefs, and the question is, explain the importance of Avatara to Hindus. Because this is a Part C, I'm not giving my own opinion, but I'm making 4 points directly addressed to the question, which are backed up with sources of wisdom. And sources of wisdom can be Hindu texts like the Bhagavad Gita or the story of Rama and Sita. They can also be people, so somebody like Gandhi, or you could refer to the teachings of a particular school of philosophy with Hinduism, like Advaita, Vedanta or Dvaita. I have highlighted the key terms that I have used, and on the Hinduism paper it's much more obvious where the key terms and the religious language is. These tend to be words, often Hindu words, but words that you only really use in RE. And you can see that in each paragraph I have got at least one, if not a few key terms. In blue are the answers, the points that I am making that are at the start of each paragraph. You will also notice that because the question is explain the importance of Avatara to Hindus, each paragraph begins with avatars are important. The human avatars are also important. The avatar Lord Krishna is particularly important. And finally, the avatars are important. And so I'm matching my point to the question. So it's a Part C, so I'm making my 4 points and backing them up. So my first point is that the avatars are important because they remind people that when the world is in a great big mess, God is going to intervene. He isn't just going to stand back and let everything go wrong. If you had a question on problem of evil, you could make this point as well. And so I've backed it up by, for example, in the Ramayana, Rama defeats the demon Ravana. God is turning up to defeat evil forces. Equally, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says to Arjuna, wherever there is evil, I will incarnate, I will become flesh. And so Hindus are reminding themselves that avatars are important because they're God's way of intervening when humans get themselves into trouble. Secondly, avatars are important because they provide, particularly the human ones, they provide important role models for Hindus in their quest to achieve good karma. So, a good example could be Rama, who is an avatar of Vishnu. You might choose the Buddha or Siddhartha as well as an avatar of Vishnu for setting an example. The example that I have chosen is Rama, who is very much the role model for if you want to be a good husband or a good son, because he forgives his stepmother after she banishes him to the forest, and he also fights to protect Sita. That might be knowledge that you have learnt for the themes paper, so you're using it here as well. Thirdly, I have said that Lord Krishna is a particularly important avatar to the ISKCON movement or to the Hare Krishnas because he's a focus of their worship and devotion. I could actually have highlighted worship and devotion as key terms. And so as I'm putting my answer together, I'm deliberately thinking to myself, can I use a religious word here? Can I improve my vocabulary to impress the examiner? Again, I want to have my source of wisdom. And so there's a line from Krishna to Arjuna, where after he's giving advice to Arjuna on whether he should fight in the battle, he says, ultimately, I'm your God, and so you should obey me and be devoted to me. And that is very much what the ISKCON movement is doing. It's devoting itself to Krishna, who is the form of Vishnu. And so Lord Krishna is important to the ISKCON movement because he's their focus of that worship and devotion. Also, Krishna is the inspiration behind they're cow sanctuaries or goshalas, so they look after the cows to try and be like Krishna. So 2 sources of wisdom packed in there. You might only need one. And then finally, avatars are important because they help humans attain true knowledge and escape Maya. Remember, Maya is that idea that we don't see the world as it really is. We're kind of living in a web of illusion and lies. And again, I'm returning back to the Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna is educated by Krishna. And so Krishna says to him, you shouldn't be scared of fighting because, you know, you'll only lose your physical body, and you shouldn't be scared of doing that because the true you, the important you, is your soul, which is imperishable. And so to summarise, avatars are important because they remind us that God's going to help us when we get into trouble. They're good role models. Krishna is particularly important for the ISKCON movement, and the avatars help us attain true knowledge and escape Maya.